Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so happy to be back sharing a project with you today and filming. I took a very unexpected time away, and thank you to everyone who reached out checking on me. All is well, and I'm so happy to be back with you guys creating projects. So let's go ahead and get started with today's project. I'm going to share with you my June customer thank you cards, and for these cards I used two stamp sets. I used the new Painter's Palette stamp set. This is in our current annual catalog, which came out on June 1st. I love this stamp set. This was my first time to really crack it open and work with it. And I'm also using watercolor wings. This was in our old annual catalog, and it came on over in the new catalog. This is a really great stamp set. So let me show you what today's project looks like. Okay, so here is my June customer thank you card. I love the colors of this card, and I absolutely love how this butterfly turned out. I think this card is clean and simple, but it really is beautiful. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how I made this awesome card. So I'm starting with a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock. This is cut down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I will have all of the measurements for today's project over on today's coordinating blog post just below this video in the description notes. So I've got my cardstock here, and I'm going to bring in my basic black archival ink, and I'm going to use the easel from the Painter's Palette stamp set. I'm just going to ink this up. You want to get really good coverage. I did re-ink this ink pad, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's see. So I want to get this in the center, but sort of closer to the bottom. Stamp down right about here. I noticed that it takes the ink a little bit longer to absorb into the Whisper White thick versus the regular Whisper White, so I'm just going to hold it down a little bit longer than I normally would, just to be sure that I get a good impression. Okay, let's see how this looks. Not bad. So you can see some spots down here on the legs didn't come through all the way. So I'm going to use my basic black Stampin' Right marker. I'm just going to fill those spaces in, and I'm just using short strokes from the bottom to the top. There we go. Can't even tell the difference. Love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the basic black away, and I'm going to bring in from that same Painter's Palette stamp set these paint splotches, and I'm going to bring in the Pool Party ink. I'm also going to bring in some scratch paper. So let's move some things aside here. Bring in some scratch paper. There we go. Bring in my ink, and I'm just going to ink up this stamp. I'm going to stamp off, and I'm going to stamp 3 times in that top left corner. And that gives me a few different shades of this ink. And I'm going to do that also in the bottom corner. Perfect. Now I'm going to ink again, stamp off, and I'm going to stamp in the top left corner of my easel. Ink again, stamp off, stamp in the bottom right corner. There we go. Just to create a little interest behind the butterfly once we add that in. Okay, so I'm going to set this piece to the side, and we're going to start working on our butterfly. So I've got a piece of regular Whisper White here. So I'm just going to bring this in, and I'm going to start with the first layer of the butterfly. So the watercolor wing stamp set is a 3-step stamp set. So we're going to first stamp this image, then stamp 2, and then stamp 3. So I'm going to bring in my Pool Party ink again, and we're just going to ink up stamp 1, and I'm going to stamp it kind of off to the side a little, right there. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the body. You can wait until the very end after you die cut the butterfly to stamp the body, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Stamp that in Pool Party. Okay, perfect. Close this up. Okay, now I've got the second stamp on here, and I'm going to bring in Bermuda Bay and some scratch paper, and I'm just going to ink up this Bermuda Bay, stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp on, and this gives me a lighter shade of ink, and it stretches my ink pad. I can get multiple colors from the same pad. Okay, perfect. Now we'll do stamp 3. Okay. Okay, for the third stamp, I'm going to stamp full strength in Bermuda Bay and just stamp right on top. Try and line this up here. Perfect. Beautiful. I love these two colors together. Okay, so now I'm going to see if I can bring my Big Shot in, and I'm probably going to have to zoom back a little bit here, so let me do that. Okay, so I've got my Big Shot in here. Hopefully I can get this all, keep this all in frame here. Turn it a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to take off this cutting plate. Okay, so I'm going to put my image on. I've got my multi-purpose platform on tab 2, and then I've got a cutting plate, and then I'm going to put my stamped image here. And then I'm using the bold butterfly framelits. I'm just going to put this right on top of my butterfly, right about here. That looks good. And then I'm going to very carefully put my second cutting plate on top, and I'm just going to run that through my Big Shot. You may hear some cracking. Nope, no cracking that time, but if you do, that's normal. That's okay. Okay, so I used the large butterfly, bold butterfly framelit to cut out my stamped image, and then I used the smaller intricate butterfly that comes in that set, and I cut out another butterfly, and I used our silver glimmer paper for this one. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Stampin' Up! Stapler here, and I am just going to put these two together. Perfect. Alright, now let's bring back in this layer of our card, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment from the Painter's Palette stamp set. This one is a little, I have it upside down, a little expression of love. So I'm going to stamp that in basic black at the top here, in the top right hand corner. Now hopefully I can get this straight. Let's see. I'll just scoot this down a little bit. Please come out straight. Woohoo! Got it. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this over and add some dimensionals to the back. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I've got my dimensionals on the back of this piece, and we're going to add it onto our card base. This is some more of the Whisper White Thick, and this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and it has been scored at 4 1/4. So we are just going to add this layer right on top in the center. Okay, perfect. And then I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the back here of my butterfly, right there. And actually, before I put that down, let me see where I want my butterfly. About right here. Okay, I want to go ahead and see if I can stamp the antenna. And I'm going to stamp those in Bermuda Bay. Okay, so about right there. Let's see. That's about where I want it. Ooh-wee, that was perfect. Okay, so we'll go ahead and stick that down right there. Looks good. Okay, and the next thing I want to do, I want to bling this up just a little bit, add a little bit more to it. So I'm going to bring in some of our Jewel Basic rhinestones, and I am going to put a large one here, and then one of the medium over here. Just kind of fill in some of these white spaces, and then we will do one of the small ones right there. Okay, and that looks perfect. And then you just pinch these wings, give them a little elevation. Perfect. I love this card. I think it's so cute. Okay, so let's just bring in all of my other ones, and there we go. Okay, there we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. Pretty quick, pretty simple. Thank you so much to those of you who placed an order with me during the month of June. I truly appreciate you. Thanks again for watching. If you'd like to order any of the products that you saw me use today, just head on over to my coordinating blog post at LaQuitaBugHandmaids.com. I've got a direct link right below this video in the description notes, and you can place your order with me today. Alright, see you guys soon. Bye now.